Welcome to another episode of Kevin Rood's Garage. This is actually Kevin Rood's Garage. I'll just take a quick tour of the garage. You can see the light motors hanging from the ceiling. Kind of the heavy motors down on the ground. And then up here is where I have a rack of old Johnsons. And then I guess if you want to get technical, way up in the back there you can see a few more. It looks like a propeller there. And a couple propellers behind that black bucket over there. A red knob there, that's a water witch of some sort. Another one behind it. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you was my latest purchase, which is this here boat. It is a 1956 Alumacraft Model FD, 14-footer. Looks just like the Model F, except it came with this giant deck on it. Obviously, I've removed the deck. You can probably tell somebody at some point, instead of using a sawhorse, used this boat as a painting platform. So I bought some paint stripper, started stripping the paint, got a good bit of it off. You'll still see a few more spots on the hood. One thing I am noticing though, it seems to be pretty good for that white paint, which is good because you can see here I got a lot of it to get through. But they've done they actually stained something on this boat as well. You can see some there, see some here. That rear stripper wasn't really working for the stain, so I might have to think of something else for it. The other thing, as you might know, Alumacrafts came with, out of the factory, with some kind of coating on the bottom, and I don't know if this is the factory coating or if this was a recoating done at some point in its life, but regardless, that's got to come up. I used the stripper a little bit. You can see I had some success with it here, but it was a lot more work than I would hope to do for an entire boat, so I'm going to have to get something a little more powerful for that too. Anyway, there's the hood ornament. That was on the deck. Give you an idea what it looks like. Interestingly, you can see here, the deck came to about here on this side, and then you can see where that screw head is on the other side. It came to about there. Interestingly, the front seat was still in there. I mean, all they did was take a Model F and drop that deck on it and covered up the front seat, covered up the Model F nose cone there. There you can see the Alumacraft logo, made in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Story I got from the guy I bought it from. He was an old guy, and by old guy I mean he looked like he was about 3 years older than me. It was his father's. His father and a buddy bought it brand new in 1956. And other than using it as a paint platform, it seems pretty straight and true. You can see from this shot that all the supports for the seats are all good. It's got the dual oar locks. So if you're running an old boat motor and you got a scull, hopefully you and a buddy can get the thing going. Like I said, kind of dirty, and the reason I took the deck off is this boat had spent a lot of time flipped over, and there was a ton of dirt. As you can kind of see here, there's a ton of dirt, still is a ton of dirt up underneath the deck. So we'll have to clean that off a bit as we go through the process. Kind of a neat feature is it's got the splash well in the back, and you can kind of see right here, if water came in over the over the back, it would evacuate that way. Still has the original capacity plate, 700 pounds, 30 horsepower. I was kind of surprised to see that. This is one solid boat. If it's 14 feet and it can handle 30 horsepower. That blue boat that you see there on the ground, that's my old boat. That's a Cadillac. Not sure what year that is, but that's a 13.5-foot boat. And so, you know, only 6 inches shorter than this one. And you put a 30 horsepower on that Cadillac boat and you're either going to have a submarine or an airplane, neither one of which I'm terribly interested in having. Anyway, that Cadillac boat, like I said, it's nothing fancy, but it's solid. I've had it for about 8 years, never let me down. If you're interested in it, it is for sale. You can find it on Craigslist. See here, this boat hasn't been in the water or hasn't been registered since 2000, but the seller gave me a bill of sale, so I'm not anticipating any trouble there. Logo is still there, badly faded though. If you look up what this logo is supposed to look like, the word Aluma is supposed to be in red and Craft is supposed to be in blue, so I think eventually we'll have to replace that. And then here's the Alumacraft plate, the original plate with the model number on it. So I don't think that block of wood back there has ever been replaced. I might, you know, it'd kill me to do it, but I might have to replace it just because it's got a pretty big crack right in there. But we'll see. So the plan for the boat is step one that I've already started. I'm going to remove all the paint. Then step two is probably replace the transom wood, or at least clean it up. I think the back piece needs to be replaced for sure. I just hung this old Evinrude on here just to see it. But 15-inch transom, which is what you want for old boat motors, and there you can see the holes where the water drains out of. So might replace, or definitely going to replace this hunk of wood. Might replace this one. Maybe we should see how it cleans up first. Then once that's done, I've got the paint removed, I got the wood replaced. Then I'm going to have to remove this wood passes for flooring here, and I think I've seen somewhere you can get more potent stripper. I think I've seen online something called Aircraft paint stripper is supposed to be the stuff. So we'll get that all stripped off. Then we'll fill it with water and see what, if any, rivets have popped, and if they have, either hammer them back in or maybe re-rivet them. Hopefully I can avoid re-riveting. I'm definitely going to have to re-rivet this seat. Well, it's wedged in there now, but this back seat actually comes up. See, one of the rivets here is no good, so I'll have to do that. And then once I get all that done, then it should be seaworthy, and that might be all we get done this year, but eventually what I'd like to do is get the boat all polished up, but that might be a project for next year. So anyway, there's my 1956 Alumacraft Model FD, 14 foot, and if anyone is interested in a 13.5 foot Cadillac rowboat, that rowboat's actually not that much smaller than the Alumacraft. The Alumacraft's just sitting up on a trailer. But if anyone's interested in the Cadillac, I do have it for sale. Let me know. Other than that, wish me luck with getting the Alumacraft cleaned up. Like I said, it looks like a solid boat. Just needs to be cleaned and loved again. And if anyone's got any tips, go ahead and drop them in the comments section. That'll do it for this edition of Kevin Rude's Garage.